Here's a secret about women that most men completely misunderstand. When a woman tells you her problems, it doesn't mean she wants you to fix them. It doesn't mean she's weak. It doesn't even mean she's looking for advice. What it really means is that she wants to, she chooses to, and that decision is way more powerful than you realize. Stick with me, because once you understand this, through the lens of psychology and Stoicism, you'll never fall into the trap of reacting the wrong way again. Part 1. Why women share problems. When a woman opens up, she's not necessarily handing you her baggage. She's testing the weight of your presence. It's like saying, "Can you hold space for me without falling apart? Can you stay grounded while I let my storm out?" And here's where most men mess up. They immediately jump in with solutions, advice, or worse, judgment. But here's what's really happening beneath the surface. She's conducting an emotional stress test. Think of it like testing a bridge. She's applying pressure to see if you can handle the load without cracking. This isn't manipulation, it's instinctive. Women have evolved to seek partners who can remain stable under pressure because historically those were the men who could protect and provide during crisis. But women don't want to be fixed. They want to be felt. When she shares her struggles about work, family, or life, she's not presenting you with a puzzle to solve. She's sharing a piece of her inner world and watching how you respond to that vulnerability. That's why when she tells you her problems, it's not about weakness, it's about trust. And trust, gentlemen, is the currency that either makes or breaks attraction. Part 2. The Stoic Response. Stoicism teaches us the power of calm presence. When a woman shares her struggles, the Stoic man doesn't panic. He doesn't rush to rescue. He listens, he breathes, he remains unmoved by chaos. But let's be clear about what unmoved means. It doesn't mean emotionally dead or indifferent. It means rooted like an ancient oak tree that bends with the wind but never breaks. The Stoic philosophers understood something profound. You cannot control external events, but you can always control your response to them. When she's sharing her emotional turbulence, that turbulence is external to you. Your internal state remains your domain. Because here's the truth. She doesn't want a problem solver. She wants an anchor. The man who can stay centered while she's spinning. That's the man she can lean on. That's the man who makes her feel like she's found solid ground in a world that constantly shifts beneath her feet. And guess what? That calm presence makes her feel more safe, more attracted, and more connected. The less you react, the more she respects. Simple as that. Part 3. The dark psychology behind it. Let's go deeper into psychology for a moment. When a woman shares her problems, she's subconsciously revealing her vulnerabilities. That's rare, because most women protect those parts of themselves like treasures in a vault. They've learned often, through painful experience, that vulnerability can be weaponized against them. If she's telling you, it means she sees you as emotionally trustworthy. She's essentially saying, "I believe you won't use this against me." But here's the dark side. If you handle it poorly by dismissing her, mocking her, or trying to fix her, she'll shut down. And when she shuts down, she doesn't just stop sharing. She starts questioning if you were ever the right man at all. Here's what happens neurologically. When you respond poorly to her vulnerability, her brain categorizes you as unsafe. Her attraction doesn't just diminish, it transforms into emotional distance and eventual disconnection. But when you respond with calm presence, her brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She literally becomes more attached to you at a chemical level, So remember, every problem she shares is both a gift and a test. Part 4. Why men feel the urge to fix. Men are wired to solve. If the car breaks down, we fix it. If the door squeaks, we fix it. So when a woman talks about her problems, a man's instinct is, I'll fix this for her. She'll be happy and problem solved. This comes from thousands of years of evolution. Men who could solve problems, build shelter, provide food, eliminate threats, were the men who survived and reproduced. That problem-solving drive is literally coded in our DNA. But emotional struggles don't work that way. Emotions aren't broken car engines. They're not problems to eliminate. They're experiences to be felt, processed, and integrated. When you rush to fix, you're basically telling her, I can't handle your emotions. Let's end this quickly. Instead of making her feel lighter, you make her feel unseen. You make her feel like her emotional experience is a burden rather than a natural part of being human. Think about it. If you had a wound and someone kept trying to put a Band-Aid on it before cleaning it, you'd feel frustrated. Emotional wounds need to be acknowledged and felt before they can heal. And the irony, by not fixing her, you actually fix the relationship. Part 5. The power of silence. Silence, gentlemen, is one of your greatest tools. When she vents, don't fill the air with cliches like, don't worry, it'll be fine. Just be silent. Nod, listen. Maybe ask a simple question like, what do you feel you need right now? But this isn't passive silence. This is active, present silence. Your body language should communicate, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm not going anywhere. That silence allows her to process. It creates space for her thoughts and feelings to unfold naturally. It's like giving her a blank canvas where she can paint her emotional experience without judgment. It shows her you're strong enough to hold emotional tension without breaking. Most men can't do this. They get uncomfortable with emotional intensity and rush to make it stop. But you can sit in the fire without being consumed by it. And in her mind, that separates you from the weak men who always scramble for words, who always need to have an answer, who always need to be doing something. In Stoicism, silence isn't emptiness, it's strength. This validation creates a profound sense of connection. She feels heard, understood, and accepted, and those feelings, they're the foundation of deep, lasting attraction. Part 7. Attraction Amplified. Here's the part that most men don't realize. When a woman feels safe enough to share her darkest problems and you stay composed, her attraction to you skyrockets. Because attraction isn't just about looks, money, or status. It's about emotional stability. Every time you stay calm, you send her brain one message. I can trust this man. He can handle me. But let's dig deeper into this psychology. Women are attracted to emotional strength because it signals genetic fitness. A man who can remain calm under pressure is a man who can handle the challenges of life, and by extension, the challenges of raising a family. This isn't conscious calculation on her part. It's millions of years of evolution whispering in her subconscious. This man has the emotional resources to be a stable partner. That's rare, and rare is valuable. This is why some men lose women they chase with gifts and grand gestures, while Stoic men keep women intrigued and loyal with nothing but their composed presence. The strongest aphrodisiac isn't your muscles, it's your emotional composure. Part 8. The energy exchange. Every interaction between men and women involves an energy exchange. When she shares her problems and you remain centered, you're not absorbing her chaos, you're transforming it. Think of yourself as a calm, emotional transformer. She brings turbulent energy, and through your calm presence, that energy gets processed and returned to her as peace. This is why she feels better after talking to you. Even though you didn't solve anything, you didn't add to her emotional burden, you helped her carry it. But here's the key. You can only transform energy if you don't get swept up in it. The moment you become reactive, you stop being the transformer and become part of the chaos. This energy transformation is deeply attractive because it demonstrates mastery. Mastery over yourself, mastery over your emotions, mastery over your environment, and mastery, gentlemen, is magnetic. Part 9. The Stoic Masculine Frame. Now, let's tie it back to Stoicism. The Stoic man accepts reality as it is. He doesn't rush to control it. He doesn't collapse under pressure. When she shares her problems, he doesn't get emotionally dragged into her storm. He lets her storm pass while remaining the mountain. That's the masculine frame. But understand this. The mountain isn't indifferent to the storm. It feels the wind. It experiences the rain. It acknowledges the lightning. But it doesn't move. It doesn't panic. It doesn't try to stop the storm. It simply endures and provides shelter. This is controlled warmth, not coldness. You're emotionally available without being emotionally unstable. You're compassionate without being consumed. This frame communicates something powerful. I am strong enough to handle whatever life brings, including you at your most difficult moments. And it makes her feel like she's with a man, not a boy pretending to be one. Be the mountain, not the leaf. That's what makes her come back to you. Part 10. The long-term impact. When you consistently respond to her problems with stoic presence, something profound happens over time. She begins to associate you with emotional safety. Her nervous system literally learns to calm down in your presence. This creates what psychologists call secure attachment. She doesn't just love you, she feels fundamentally safe with you. And here's the beautiful part. When a woman feels this level of safety, she becomes more feminine in your presence. She stops trying to control everything. She stops being defensive. She starts trusting you to lead. This isn't about dominance or submission. It's about complementary strength. Your emotional stability allows her to access her natural femininity. The result, a relationship where both people can be themselves at the deepest level, where vulnerability is met with strength and strength is softened by vulnerability. Part 11. Common mistakes to avoid. Let me give you the specific mistakes that destroy this dynamic. Mistake number 1, the instant solution. Why don't you just quit your job? Have you tried talking to your boss? Maybe you should just ignore them. Stop. These responses tell her you're not listening. You're just waiting for your turn to talk. Mistake number 2, the comparison game. At least you have a job, or my problems are worse than that. The moment you compare her problems to others, you diminish her experience. Mistake number 3, the emotional merger. Getting upset because she's upset, absorbing her emotions and making them yours. This turns you from her rock into another wave in her storm. Mistake number 4, dismissive response. You're overthinking it, or it's not that serious. This invalidates her reality and makes her feel foolish for having feelings. Remember, your job isn't to minimize her problems. Your job is to be present with them. Remember, in a world full of reactive men, the stoic man stands apart. In a world full of fixers, the man who can simply be present becomes irreplaceable. Until next time, be the mountain, not the avalanche.